I was very young. Like I went to college, I was 17. My birthday was November, so it was like that cutoff. But yeah, I grew up in.
Do you go back often?
Yeah, a lot. I was just there. I stayed like when I was younger. I used to go every 2 years, and then I lived there after college. Actually, taught English in Brazil for almost 3 years. I lived with my grandmother. It was a nice time to spend with her. And then I got married, had the 2 kids. It was hard to go with the 2 small children. I'm from a smaller, town, and it's expensive to go to Brazil. It's cheaper to go to Europe than to go to Brazil. But I stayed 9 years, almost 10 years without going.
And to teach English, you have to get certified?
No, I mean, I kind of went, no, it was like a private school. I'm like, I don't know why we say these things
you're very
in
articulate,
English.
so I
Thank you, no. I mean,
yeah.
I went to college and everything, but no, I had to learn, because when you're speaking a language, you don't think about the process, and then when you're trying to teach someone else another language, it's difficult. It's like, I used to tell them, like, 1 + 1 = 3. There is no exact translation of things. You just have to accept it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It can't. Like,
I always thought that the way Portuguese sounds so beautiful. I love that language.
Muito obrigado.
Yes.
I love it. I enjoy it when somebody's speaking in Portuguese. And how many languages do you speak, Fusa?
I used to be really into languages. I thought I was going to be an interpreter in the UN at the age of 13 because we did the career study, and I saw that they made $80,000. I'm like, I want that. But then I realized you have to learn the languages of whoever the members are. So it's like Arabic, like German, whatever.
And to me, it's just such a responsibility.
Yeah, it's a huge.
When you just translate one thing wrong, you could cause a war.
So I remember translating in church when I was growing up. But I studied French for 5 years, but I speak nothing of it anymore. I know my Portuñol. It's not very. My Spanish is Portuñol. Yeah. So I probably could say Spanish, and then I really want to. I studied a year of Italian. I loved Italy, so I kind of want to get back into studying. I've always had an easy way, languages came very easily to me when I was studying. But you have to practice. If you don't practice, you forget.
Well, I was telling you off camera that my little experience in Rio, but it wasn't all bad. I was saying that I got the last day right before I flew back at the beach, they stole my wallet.
Yeah,
but it was magic. We never saw him, and it was
just be glad.
but we had a great time. I went to the Cristo.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I went up there. I went to the stadium, Maracanã.
Nice.
We had a blast. I thought, for the most part, other than those gentlemen that disappeared with my wallet, the people were so nice. The food was great. The atmosphere was really nice.
Brazilians are very hospitable. And one thing I've learned, I don't know if you guys can relate, because I grew up here, but there's this crazy thing that happens when you come from a different country. It's because, and I actually wrote about some papers in college about it. So that Brazil that you leave behind, it's no longer there.
Right.
And then you come to a new country, and you're not fully accepted. So a third culture emerges, right? So let's call it Brazilian American. So I remember when I would go to Brazil when I was little, I would feel so American because I didn't know how to samba. I had to practice and learn how to samba. But here in the States, I felt so Brazilian, so it's kind of like the opposite thing. And then I realized that kind of this third culture is formed. There's certain words that we've taken from English and we mixed it with Portuguese. And if you go to Brazil, for example, appointment, the word appointment. I got to a doctor in Brazil and I was like, eu tenho apontamento, which the word appointment is apontamento in Portuguese, but they looked at me. They don't say that. They have it's a consultation. So there's these things, and Brazil would say, eu vou parquear. So it's getting an American, I'm sure there's Spanish words that are mixed, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's we form this third culture.
Right.
Where you don't feel like you fit in. It's this vacuum is created. Yeah. And then you have to kind of embrace each other, right? But I have to say, every time I go to Brazil, I love it. I feel like it re-energizes me, even though I was raised here. I have a lot of love, respect from where I come from. I have a small family, so I still have some family members there and more friends that become more like family. But I love going back. It's not a place that I plan to live. Maybe one day if it gets better because of the violence.
Well, you see that movie? I think it was City of Gods.
I can't watch that movie. It's too much.
That was way too real.
Yeah, that was
that's even real for these times.
I know, that was intense. My husband loves that movie.
like little kids shooting
I was
each
like,
other.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what?
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crap, but it's
Really
like that,
crazy.
you know. It's,
But it's crazy
Wow.
when you drive. I mean, there's you know, in every country you go to, there's always
Yeah.
that. But it's crazy like within the city, Rio.
Yeah.
You drive around, all of a sudden here, it's like, oh my Lord, what's going on here? And all of a sudden you drive past it, and then all
and
of
it's
a
like
sudden,
this gorgeous.
it's like they live
you
within.
see the
this-
inequality, yeah. So you see it like rich.
You see it right
very
there,
poor.
like right next to each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's something that just kind of
Yeah.
You know, it's only there,
right.
right? You know you're there when you're there. It's like something you don't see in any parts of the world.
And you know what? Here in Miami Beach, there's a big Brazilian community. There's
Yeah.
they have capoeira schools.
Right.
They
Yeah.
have you know, I used to want to learn that years ago because they used to always have movies and stuff about that.
Yeah.
But it's a big Brazilian community.
Let me ask you, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off, Aaron. Fusa, when you went back to Brazil, like to visit, did you, because you grew up here, you know, did people like look at you different because you didn't grow up in Brazil like a full time?
Yeah. They call me gringa.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh yeah, gringa.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, but like, you know, I was with my family and friends. I didn't feel like rejected or anything like that.
No, yeah.
But it was
I
funny.
can smell you from a mile away.
I know, but
Yeah.
for example, at
That
the
happens.
English school that I was teaching, the teachers would come into the teacher room and they would either speak English or Portuguese, and I would be like, one language, another. It's so good when you can like, because I was brought up bilingual.
Right.
Like even till the fourth grade, second, third, and fourth grade in America, my teacher spoke both languages. So I had, and you know, there's like certain things you say in Spanish that they don't have that like word, the exact thing in
Right,
English, and
right.
vice versa. So you'll be like speaking English, and then that one Spanish word comes out, the same thing. And they would look at me, and they were just like, they would laugh because they're just not used to hearing that. Like
Right.
it's either one or the other. So things like that, and then like. There would be certain things that I don't, there's still certain slang I don't know that my husband will say, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know?
So he grew up more over there.
Yes, he's been
Okay.
here 16 years.
Okay. So just to recap a little bit, or just to move forward a little bit, what advice would you give somebody that is opening a new business, and what, as far as marketing goes, what do you think they would, how would they approach that situation of getting their business out to be known?
Sure, so one thing, we were kind of chatting before about phrases, right?
Right.
One of my phrases, follow your curiosity. Another phrase that I share with you is that done is better than perfect. So we
Right.
have this weird thing sometimes where we want things to be perfect to launch. Oh, I'm gonna
Right,
launch
yes.
this class, I'm gonna
Yes.
be a consultant,
Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna finally sell that thing, I'm gonna finally, you know, bake my cakes. I know they're good, but I need this, but I need that, but I need that. And then once I come to terms with done is better than perfect, not that I'm not gonna try my best, but you have to use the resources you have.
Right.
So for example, if you don't have enough money for a website, which I totally recommend a website, then you use social media, which is free, which you set up and start showcasing your brand, start getting those orders.
Start going. Start
You have to
getting
start
going.
from somewhere, right?
Right.
So follow curiosity, done is better than perfect. Another phrase I love is like, be you, everyone else is taken,
Oh, nice.
right? With social media can come this thing where we're trying to, like the comparison game is real.
Yeah.
Like if you don't
Yeah.
watch it, you're like, man, why are they on
Everybody's-
vacation again? Why? Oh, they look like they're doing so well. They started after me. So you have to like realize that first of all, that's not showing the backstage. Number one, right?
Right,
We're just
right.
seeing the highlight reel. Number one, and secondly, like there's only one you, right?
Right.
So there is no competition.
Right.
So the moment you have to understand like what is your unique value proposition.
Absolutely.
What is
Nice.
it that you bring to the table? So I'm going to give an example with Eva. We were talking yesterday. So she has a lady that does threading, and I usually don't like threading because it hurts. But I needed to get my eyebrows done. I was there. I was like, oh, I need my eyebrows. I need my lip wax. So the lady, she told me Bella is her name. She said my family is 5th generation threaders from Russia.
Wow.
I mean,
That's amazing.
why would I go to her? Because her family's been doing it for like
5
centuries.
generations.
And she
Right.
had, and then she used something differently. She has a unique
Like a
technique.
powder. She has a powder.
No, she has like this little knife. I don't need to scare you, but it's this little knife. She knows how to use it. But I told Eva, I was like, you gotta put that on social media.
Yeah.
People have to know about that. That's such a unique value proposition. Why do photographers come to me for SEO? Because they're not technical either. So, I used to kid around and say I had ghetto SEO, but it worked. But, so they like that because the techie people, they didn't feel comfortable with the techie people.
Right.
So you have to, so I think for marketing, use the platforms you have. Now, there's some people believe you need to be everywhere. I'm a strong believer on like top 3 platforms, but is your audience there?
Right.
For example, Twitter is a place where there's a lot of journalists, there's a lot of other bloggers. I'm not gonna find brides on Twitter, right? Brides are on Pinterest and now Instagram.
Yeah, I see.
So you have to know your ideal audience. So when we talk about ideal audience, let's say you don't have them yet. Imagine them. This is such a fun exercise. I would recommend you do this exercise, anyone who started. Write down, you have to create your client avatar. So for me, I worked with a branding expert at the time. Years I had wanting to do my new branding for Get Found Infused. So my avatar her name is Roxy. She's 34 years old. She's a mother of 3 kids. She was a photographer who now has learned floor arrangements, and she wants to open a studio, a styling studio, and use both things because she wants to spend more time with her kids. Her favorite jeans is Guess. She always has her iPad with her in case her kids need to watch. Like, you gotta get nitty gritty. Where does she live? Or he? How old? Because if your targeted are moms are very different than brides, for example.
Right.
So let's say, in order for me to help me find my ideal wedding client at the time, I actually interviewed 5 clients. And I just asked, why did you hire me? What was it about our first meeting? And then I wrote down, what you find is you find patterns. Oh, you made me feel comfortable. You think outside the box. Then you get that language, and you need to start using that on your website, on your social media, on your branding, on your marketing. Because remember, you're attracting and you're repelling. Attracting and repelling. You want to hone in. You want to narrow down. Like, people are like, oh, you did weddings, you got bridezillas. I was like, not really, because I put myself out there exactly what I wanted to